Over the last 3 years, this anthropologist has traveled throughout the Hudson Valley giving guest lectures and presentations on the cultural and archaeological significance of Hudson River estuary shell middens. Shell middens are the focus of my research and are cultural spaces located on the mainland, islands, and estuaries of New York and similar landscapes in North America. The shell middens of New York were created by the Lenape and Mohican peoples of this region and their ancestors. Dogan Point is the main archaeological site I've been studying for the last year because it is one of the largest and most important shell midden sites along the Hudson River. Dogan Point represents some of the earliest and most intense evidence for shell fishing in the region to date. However, many of the previous projects it has seen were only cursory, used outdated methods, or the cultural and ecological data collected were poorly documented. What previous projects by Lou Brennan and Cheryl Clausen did demonstrate was that by at least 7,000 years ago, indigenous peoples were relying on resources from this ecosystem. In particular, oysters were increasingly important from 8,000 to 5,000 years ago and during later periods. They were also a resource that supplemented European economic interest in the region throughout much of the colonial period. Last summer, I returned to Dogan Point to start fieldwork focused on defining the overall extent of the shell midden at this site. My bucket auger survey, which is marked by stars on the map, overlaps with previously excavated areas by Brennan and Clausen, but most of it took place in unexcavated areas. The study of shell middens are important because their contents can help scientists assess various cultural and environmental changes and variations in subsistence, technology, and other human-environment relations. I like to think of shell middens as time capsules, and their shells, faunal, and botanical remains and artifacts that previous archaeologists and myself recover can be analyzed to define these important aspects of human-environment relations and assess when and why changes, if any, took place. The broader implications of my research are important. Successfully dating a large sample size will improve the chronology of occupation at Dogan Point site and other shell midden sites, and when paired with artifacts will help refine regional typologies used by many archaeologists. The data collected and used from this project will help identify a history of potential human and environmental impact on estuarine species. The research will also lead to improved relations with indigenous communities that could benefit future research projects in the region. This goal is important to me because it was something that previous archaeologists overlooked or avoided. Results could also provide important data for management of this complex and important ecosystem by providing various baselines that could be used in policy making and conservation efforts. For example, results could be particularly useful for programs focused on shellfish restoration and public outreach and education. Finally, my research may bring more attention to the study of shell middens along the Hudson River and demonstrate their significance and importance for advancing our knowledge of human-environment relations. Thank you.